a little introduction of the speakers. Myself, you know already. Michael, you know already. So I'll invite Florence to introduce herself uh, to the group. Then Kofi will do that. After that, Mike Potier will introduce the group to you. So Florence.
Okay, thank you, and hello everyone. So my name is Florence Croff. I'm working for FIAN in Belgium, so the national section of FIAN International. We are based in Brussels, and I imagine that all of you know more or less what is FIAN, but we are an international network working for the realization of the right to food, and we are mainly active here in Belgium and at the European level in order to contribute to better food system here in Belgium, but also what we do abroad. We support communities whose right to food is violated when there is a clear link with Belgium. So whether it is a Belgian policy contributing to the violation of the right, or a Belgian actor. And in this case of SIAT, it is a Belgian enterprise that is involved, and that's why we have supported the communities for the last few years. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Florence. Kofi, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kofi Wisdom. I work for YV Ghana, Youth Volunteer for Environment Ghana. For the past few years, our work has been focused on Okumeni and the surrounding community who has been who have seen their land being grabbed by SIAT called GOPDC in Ghana since 2000, and a lot of human rights violation cases, and then we try to work them as a CSO at the grassroots level. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kofi. Sina is not yet up. Probably if he comes up, then he will introduce himself. Now, Mike, can you introduce the group to the panel?
So we're meeting here in Cape Town. I'm working for the Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Office in South Africa, and we have guests here from 9 different African countries: Southern Africa, Lesotho, Namibia, Eswatini, Zimbabwe, and then also East Africa. We have Malawi, Tanzania, Uganda, and we have Ethiopia and also Mozambique. Some of the delegates are also working for Catholic Parliamentary Liaison Offices, which are part of the Episcopal Conference in each country. Others are working in NGOs, not in the church itself. So we have been here for the whole week, doing training work on public policy advocacy, with a particular focus on advocacy for land and land justice. And we had a case study this morning of a community organization in South Africa, which has been fighting a struggle of many years against mining interests and roads opening up their area, displacing their communities. And what we want this afternoon is the second case study. So we've gone through a lot of the theoretical things around advocacy and the principles, etc. But this is now to learn something about real examples on the ground. Thanks, Chika.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mike. And I'm happy that you have done a case study, and this afternoon you are doing another case study with a different slant. And in this slant is the effort that we are making to promote church civil society collaboration, because we believe that it is about our humanity. And we brought this case up to the Belgian platform of Land Working Group. And Florence is one of the key actors of this Land Working Group. while Kofi is one person accompanying the community in Ghana. You have Sina Quatara also accompanying the community in Cote d'Ivoire. Then you have Rita, who is not here and whom we are not expecting, accompanying the community in Nigeria. These three companies, this one company, SIAT, is operating in these three countries and other places, but we have taken this as a case. And so we are building not just national advocacy, but multi-level advocacy, both at the national, sub-regional, and at the international level, and involving several actors, Christians, Muslims, civil society, and communities themselves. And so some of the people you are going to listen today, Florence is based in Belgium, as she said, Kofi is in Ghana, Sina Quatara is in Cote d'Ivoire. They will share their own experiences. And personally, I'm going to talk a little bit about why the involvement of the church in it. And so I think with this, I will now invite Kofi, in the absence of Sina, to begin his own testimony.
Do we want to start with the short film, Chika?
Okay, yeah, the film, yeah.
So maybe Mike can project the film for his local.
All right. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
I don't know for you, but I don't hear the sounds.
Yeah, we're not hearing the audio, Mike.
Okay, I don't know why that is.
Okay, maybe when you before you screen share, when you first press on the screen share button, you need to look around for, I think bottom left, it says optimize for audio or something like that. You have to switch it on from that screen.
So I have to stop sharing first.
Yeah, stop sharing.
Yeah.
And then go to share screen, but before you select which window you're going to share, have a look on your screen, and I think bottom left it says something like optimize for video, and then maybe at the top it says something about again.
It's got a share. It's got a share sound button that we missed.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Good. Let's try again then. Yep. Perfect.
On leur a demandé il s'agit de quoi, et ils nous ont dit que c'est un projet qu'ils sont en train de nous envoyer. Comment est-ce que je peux envoyer un projet à quelqu'un sans lui dire même pas une réunion et pour vous envoyer ce projet comme ça? Donc ils sont venus, ils nous ont convoqués, dit que non, c'est un projet que l'État est en train d'envoyer sur notre terrain, un projet d'EVA. Et nous on leur a dit que ce projet d'EVA n'est pas d'accord. Ils nous ont dit vous êtes d'accord ou pas, le projet va s'installer. Puisque votre terre là c'est pour l'État. Même la maison dans laquelle vous dormez là c'est pour l'État. Si même tout à l'heure l'État vient, qui te dit de quitter dans ta maison, il va prendre. À plus forte raison une forêt. Et nous aussi on a dit que c'est dans notre forêt nous mangeons. L'armée nous a envahis. Un cargo une délégation d'armée de 9 cargos. Ils sont descendus, ils disent qu'on n'a qu'à quitter, on dit on ne quitte pas. Quitter, on dit on ne quitte pas. Ils ont commencé à lancer les bombes lacrymogènes. Et cela n'a pas pu faire quelque chose sur nous. On n'a pas reculé. Maintenant, ils ont lancé leurs bombes où c'était fini maintenant. Ils ne savent pas où partir. Ils ont appelé maintenant les doyens, leurs patrons leur ont donné feu vert, qui n'ont qu'à tirer sur nous parce qu'ils étaient armés. Au moment où nous, on n'avait rien sur nous. Et ils ont commencé à tirer. On était sur le lieu. En tirant, malheureusement, notre frère de Ngourmania, lui, il a reçu le coup de balle dans son cou. Lui, il est resté sur place. Moi, mon grand frère, qui a fils comme celui qui est là, son papa qui l'a mis au monde, il s'appelle Yaya Amadou. Lui, il a pris pour lui dans le ventre.
Dans cette affaire, nous, non seulement nous avons perdu nos terres, nos cultures, nos forêts sacrées, mais aussi on a perdu 4 personnes, en plus des blessés plus ou moins graves. Notre souhait, c'est que tous ceux qui peuvent interviennent soit auprès des gouvernants, soit auprès des SIAT pour que nous retrocèdent nos terres et qu'on puisse faire nos cultures comme on le faisait par le passé. Parce que c'est illégal, c'est inhumain et vraiment c'est insupportable.
Le bien-être des citoyens européens ne doit pas se faire au détriment des violations des droits des citoyens au plan de nos pays. Et quand vous voyez Pricro, à combien de kilomètres, et donc il y a des choses non acceptables au XXIe siècle qui se déroulent dans les plantations, dans les communautés et qui ne doivent pas être tolérées. Et donc nous pensons qu'il y a des mécanismes qui existent au niveau européen qui plaident pour le respect des droits des communautés. Il faut ouvrir des enquêtes, il faut interpeller ces multinationales qu'elles ne peuvent pas envoyer du caoutchouc sale, du caoutchouc qui se fait au détriment des droits des gens. Il ne peut pas rouler dans de grosses voitures dont les punaises, dont la matière première est faite en violant les droits des communautés.
Okay, thank you, Mike. At the end of this session, I'm going to send you another film made, from the 3 countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Nigeria, which is longer, it's about 12 minutes. So I'll send you the link and see the involvement of the church into it. But for this session, the key actors will be explaining the case to you and what they have done so far and what they are doing at this moment about the case. But don't forget, this same company, SIAT, operates in 3 countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Nigeria. In Cote d'Ivoire, it's about rubber. And in Ghana, it's about palm plantation. In Nigeria, it's palm plantation. So let's start with Wisdom, since Sina is not there, to explain the case from the experience in Ghana.
Thank you very much, Father Chika, for the opportunity and platform to talk about the case in Ghana. Thank you, everyone, to be here. I will start by saying that Okumeni community, Okumeni and surrounding communities are in the Kwaibibrim district in Ghana, and this particular region is known to be a local palm production center, and that of organic orange and cocoyam. But then back before year 2000, there's a farm there who is called the State Farm. The State Farm is managed by Ghana government, who used to produce in quantity the palm plantation, the palm oil. you know, but due to wrong management and all that, before 2000, 1999, the state company collapsed, and the government decided to give back the land to the local palm farmers in the area to do individual farms. So these community members start to do their cocoa plantation, the palm plantation, the orange and all that. And then 2 years later, they were told by the paramount chief that he is giving the land to a multinational, a foreign company. And the community, most of them didn't have a chance or a choice to say yes or no. And they were proposed to a payment as a compensation for what they've already planted on this land. And some few people who have no choice have agreed, and those who are still young decided not to agree. And due to that, there has been a lot of bullying, whereby the multinational company, which is called GOPDC, Ghana Oil Plantation Development Plantation in Ghana, but it's actually a SIAT affiliated organization in a company here in Ghana, proposed to pay some money in compensation.
We have lost his connection.
We have lost him.
Yeah.
Should I switch over to Florence? But
yeah, possibly let's go to Florence, and then if Wisdom reconnects with a better connection, we can finish his.
All right.
Okay. Also, Sinon Ouattara is joining, so look out for him in the waiting room, Mike.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay. While doing that, let Florence take the floor. Then now we move backwards from the international to the local instead of the other way around. So Florence, you can go ahead so that we can save time.
Yeah, happy to do that. But I was just asking myself if Sinan is there, it would make a bit more sense to listen to him first, right?
Yeah, he hasn't joined yet. We're still waiting for him to join.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it makes more sense to move from the local. It makes more sense to move from the national to the international, but since the network is not helpful.
Okay. Well, I will try then.
7 minutes, Florence.
Sorry?
7 minutes.
Okay.
Maximum.
Yeah, I will just explain to you in a few words what is our way to support specific cases. I was prepared to do it in French, but as you are all English speakers, I will do it in English. It's really good. And then maybe I will be shorter and we can have more discussion, or if you have certain question about the international part. But so we have been in contact with the affected community first in Ivory Coast a few years ago, because this SIAT is multinational, but is really has its headquarters here in Brussels. And so because of that, and we heard that many communities complains about the negative impact of this company on their access to land, but also other human rights. We agree to support their struggle here in Belgium in order to engage ourselves in the support of a local struggle. We, as I was saying before, it has to have a clear link with Belgium, because without that, we don't have any leverage. here in Belgium, it's the way we are legitimate in supporting. It's only when there is this link, whether with a Belgian company or Belgian policy. Then we have to have enough resources and money in order to support the struggle through the years. So we in FIAN, we don't support for like a short time, but when we decide to support, it will be on the long term. So until the community may decide that they want or not to have this support, and we have to be sure that we have some kind of add value, whether in supporting the struggle at the national level or in doing advocacy work in Belgium and in Europe. And so when the committee asked us for the support, we realized that, I mean, it was okay with all those conditions. And so with other partners in Belgium, we try to see how best we could support them and having advocacy activity here in Belgium having some kind of impact on their situation. Normally what we do is that we organize fact-finding mission on the ground with the local partners in order to document the case with human rights lens. In this case, because there have been already some documentation of the case, we as FIAN, we didn't go on spot to document, but others did. And then we try to support at 3 levels. So a media strategy, so giving visibility to the case and the injustice lived by the communities, some advocacy action at national level and international level, and then some community support. And so one of the main activity that we did together with the different partners in Africa and in Belgium, we organized last year a lobby tour here in Brussels, during which representatives from the 3 countries came to Brussels for 1 week or so. So Wisdom was there, Sinan, Rita as well, and Daleba from Ivory Coast as well. And we organized here in Belgium quite a few advocacy meetings with decision makers in order to have their involvement in the case. And what is the base? I mean, the base for us for those kind of advocacy activities here in Belgium is based on the international human rights law that is stating that it exists extraterritorial obligation from states. And so when we have a look at that, normally through Belgium would have some obligation, some human rights obligation to control in a way the companies, the Belgian companies that are acting wrongly abroad. And so that was what we discussed with decision makers. So we had some advocacy meeting at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, asking Belgium actually to monitor the activities of SIAT and to ensure that there were no negative impact on human rights of community affected. And we also support at some point the different advocacy activities at national level that were decided by the national partners, so in Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. And this combination of action could in a way increase the pressure on SIAT. So one of the results of this lobby tour, for example, is that SIAT accepts again to have some kind of dialogue with the community. And one important meeting was organized in November last week in Abidjan, in between the CEO of SIAT, SIAT Group, and the affected community in Ivory Coast. Unfortunately, SIAT decided to stop in a way, and so even though it was agreed with them that similar dialogues would occur in Ghana and Nigeria, they refused to continue to do that. So yeah, I think at this point is what I wanted to share, and maybe if we can discuss it further if someone has a few questions, or yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Florence. Unfortunately, Wisdom has not been able to join up, and I haven't seen Sina as well. Okay, it seems that he is coming up now.
No, I just spoke to him on the phone, but he seems to have, Sinan Ouattara from Côte d'Ivoire seems to have a very poor connection and has not yet been able to join us. I don't know if he will.
But Wisdom is back.
Wisdom is here. Huh?
Wisdom is here. So Wisdom, can we now hear you? You can start from where you stopped. Hello, Wisdom.
Sorry, I'm back.
Yes, you still have the floor.
Sorry, I'm back. I don't know if I can continue. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
No.
Thank you, and sorry for that. This is the technology. Like
No, he's dropped out again.
Well, he has dropped off again. Okay. I will make, while we will wait for him, I'll also make a brief input about the involvement of the church in the case. Unfortunately, the film that I wanted to show you, but I will send you the link. It's pretty long, about 10 to 12 minutes. And it talks about the involvement of the church in the countries. And why is it that the church is getting involved, and how is the church getting involved in that? As I explained earlier, it is about our common humanity, and have thought from right that the church in Africa has enormous power that is not using. Two levels of that. One is that the church controls a lot of constituency in a lot of African countries. And for politicians, those who want to win election, if they know that you control a large constituency, definitely they will respect your views. So this is one, one entry point for the church. And the other side of it is that in Africa, so today, the church is still respected. It's not so despised as in Europe or America. So the church has not really used her power. So we find a way to get the church to be involved in the life of the communities rather than issuing of statements, okay, concrete support. And so we made efforts now to link the local churches to these communities. I will give just one example because of time. In the case of Ghana, we have been able to link the community to the Bishops' Conference, to Caritas Ghana, and in particular, the bishop of the diocese where this company operates. We have had several meetings with the bishop, and the bishop has committed himself to hold a meeting with the paramount chief. The bishop has a lawyer priest, a civil lawyer priest. He has committed to ask the lawyer to now help to accompany the community. The National Caritas of Ghana is a lawyer too. We have also had meetings with her, and she has also committed to to support the the community in the legal aspect of the case. So this is one concrete way that the diocese has involved. Then at the West African level, this case was presented during their plenary last year, and based on this, the West African bishops unanimously now put it in their program of action that they are now committed to supporting communities in their struggles. That is not just enough giving statement, but there should be concrete expression of that support of communities in their struggles to preserve their environment, to preserve their land, and to preserve their natural resources. So this is the aspect that the church is playing right now in the three cases. In Cote d'Ivoire, there was an effort, but it was not as successful as that of Ghana. In Nigeria, they are now, I am the one linking them up. So we are hoping that we are going to have a more fruitful collaboration between the church and the affected communities. And in fact, the Rita who is accompanying the community has been invited by the Bishops' Conference during their meeting to make an input. So that is an indication that there is already some level of collaboration there. So for now, this is what I have to say from the involvement of the church. Maybe if there are questions, we shall do that at the time of question and answer. Kofi, if you are there, then you can speak up. Otherwise, we
can you please hear me? Can you please hear me clearly now?
Yes,
we are hearing you, but we hope it will remain.
Yeah, this time around, it's here for good.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so like I was saying, the community were told that the company needs about 25,000 acres of land to do this developmental project. And as you know, every community would like to see some kind of development. So these chiefs accept this project, thinking that it will come to improve the social status of their community. So at a point in time, you see the chief playing a role to facilitate the establishment of this company. But at the end of the day, after the land is taken from the community, both the community and the chief realize that this was just a 419 or something that's not true. And the community started claiming their compensation. Some claim their land from the year 2000 till now. Most of them came together as a group to take the matter to court, and knowing fully well that the community don't have much resources to pursue the matter at court for long, there has been a delay tactics from both the judiciary and the company in order to put the community in a fatigue or a tiredness situation so that they can naturally abandon. So as of now, the community used to do some kind of a contribution to go to court when it comes to transportation and all those needs to financial need to go to court. And it came to a time that the courts actually ruled in favor of the community, and the company take the matter to regional appeal court, and the appeal court also ruled in favor of the community and sanctioned the company. The company paid the sanctions, but refused to pay the community's compensation. And then what we hear is the company is taking the matter to the National Appeal Court, which is becoming very difficult for the community to pursue. Meanwhile, the only means they have as a community is maybe to do some demonstration. But then that one, you need to proceed to inform the police to make sure the demonstration is done under the control or the view of the police. But as we all know, these multinationals and international companies have a hand in manipulating both the local government, the central government, and that of the police. So the community have never had a chance to demonstrate whatever they wanted to do. So when we as a CSO realized that this is happening in the community we had wanted to promote agroecology practices in, we actually tried to play side by side with the community as a CSO, accompanying them in the procedure with the court issues. And then we realized that the same case is happening in Ivory Coast with our sister organization and that of Nigeria. That's what pushed us to do a coalition of 3 countries who are helping the communities that are affected to struggle against this SIAT company. And with the help of our Belgian friends, AFGN, FIAN, and all those organizations that were in collaboration with us, we did some lobby tour in Europe the last year, which has resulted normally to the CEO of SIAT wishing to dialogue with the community to solve these problems. But at the end of the day, it was just a swerve, which didn't happen. And the struggle continued with the community and with us alongside, and then with technical support and all that from our Belgian friends. And along the line, there was this thought, which has been okay and taken by us to involve the church, who can play a very good role in terms of engaging both the chief who are not willing to help the community and some of the company to actually listen to communities. And along the way, it has helped the community here in Ghana to get in touch with some lawyers who are willing to help. Though we have not seen a significant help yet, but at least the will and the willingness to help the community is there. So the community has now some confidence in we, the CSO and the church, especially when I talk about the case of Ghana. The diocese in the area has been very helpful to organize some discussion and see where we go from there and all that. So the case of Okumeni, which is supposed to be 25,000 acres of land in the beginning, the community elders and community leaders has come to confide in us that, in actual fact, where the 25 hectares of land supposed to stop, the company have already exceeded that and go way beyond. And they estimate that this should be about 28 to 40,000 acres of land, which the company is using. And the community and its leaders don't have access to a contract document that give them the land since year 2000. And most of them who are landowners, out of anxiety, out of loss of land, most of them has passed away. I don't know if Father Chika can remember Mr. Amuzu, the man who sat in the public place the day we went to visit the community during the regional workshop here in Ghana. Mr. Amuzu has passed away just last week out of anxiety, out of going to court every week. You know, so most of these community leaders who are supposed to be leading this process are passing away, are dying, and they never saw their compensation paid. They never saw any development towards the land being given back to them. So this is how the case look like here in Ghana. I already end up without mentioning that most of the community are no more existing due to the establishment of the SIAT farm in the locality. About 6 of them has been marketed, has been cleared. We are still having a small plantation farm to the company. So on a typical Okumeni market day, you cannot go to a market and get a palm fruit for home consumption. All the products supposed to be sold, to be given to a SIAT or GOPDC company, or you are penalized. So this is a situation most community around the SIAT or GOPDC farms are facing. Recently, some community called Subrisu has been.
Wisdom, you have 2 minutes to round up. You have taken a lot of time.
Thank you. Those community has been beaten up, and it looks like they are very helpless. And so the demand and the recommendation from the community so far is that, of course, you guys are helping us to understand the judicial aspect of the case. But if you are CSO, we wish you could do some practical developmental projects that will keep us going. So I may wrap up, and then maybe answering question I could bring it up. But then both Ghana, being in Ghana, Ivory Coast, or Nigeria, the SIAT's way of violating human rights in our community are the same. So we are to find out the way to speed up how we help this community to seek justice for themselves. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I think Wisdom has a kind of indication of what is happening in these 3 countries. It's the same thing. It's the same pattern. Though you have some specific things that make them the difference, but in general, it's the same pattern. We now the floor for questions and answer. We have 10 minutes for that.
Okay, questions or comments from here? Okay, we have a question here. Whether are there any international bodies that can mediate in cases like this?
Okay. Florence, would you like to respond to that?
Yes, I can. In similar cases, because, for example, we are active also, I don't know if you know the multinational called SOCFIN, so it's also one of the 5 main players for palm oil in Africa. And in that case, we supported particularly the communities in Sierra Leone. It has been something that community wanted over there, to try to have some kind of body in order to mediate in between the company, the state, and the community. We as FIAN, because we are a human rights organization, we are not in favor of those mediation in a way, because you will mediate on human rights. Because normally the power is always with the private actor. Communities are not supported enough in order to defend themselves and to defend their own rights. And it will always be then some kind of private initiative. There is no public body at international level that will have this function to mediate. And yes, so it can be, we try then with them to put some kind of condition, what kind of conflict resolution mediation would be able to respect the human rights of the community. And we put some condition for this mediation to occur. At the end of the day, it has not been put in place. But if you want us to share, for example, the list of conditions that we have redacted with the community in order to have a fair and impartial mechanism, I can share that with you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Florence. Do you have other interventions from the group?
Yes, Jacinto.
Just to my colleague from Ghana, he has been talking about the court sessions, and I did not pick him when they talk about the community going for court sessions. I would like to understand from you, were anyone facilitating this process of court? Because I would imagine, I think in some other countries like Uganda, we have like civil society pooling resources and getting lawyer for the community members, just to present these affected communities in their different community who are affected. Their land are being taken away by the investors.
Were you able to hear the question?
Honestly, I wasn't able to get the question myself, so I don't know about wisdom.
Okay, so wisdom, the question is around the court processes that you described to us, and what is the support given to the community when they go to court? Are they supported by CSOs? Are you able to supply them with lawyers? Are NGOs pooling their resources in order to assist with these court cases? How does that all work?
Yeah, okay. Before we got to know about the community situation, they were already in court. But it came to a point, they have no resources to actually even take transport to the court when they have rendezvous or when they have appointment with the court. So sometimes, on one case, on about 2-3 cases, we supported them with the transport system for the whole community to go and support the demonstration at the courtyard. This also, at a point in time, forced the court to rule in favor of the community. And there was another condition whereby we, with the help of other CSO, we let the community leaders meet the pro bono lawyers group who has advised them how to comport or how to defend their case in court. So those are the other help or other way of help we provide to community as CSO. And also we do training for community leaders to know how to engage in judiciary aspect of the issue.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comment, intervention, or question?
I'd like to ask about the interface between the human rights aspect of this and the environmental aspect. And I know very well they're not separate things, but some NGOs tend to emphasize, when we're talking about plantations, for example, palm oil, the deforestation that goes with creating new plantations. Some organizations and activists really stress the environmental side of things, while others approach it more from a human rights, food access, community rights perspective. Can maybe Florence or Chico, you could say something about whether you combine those two areas of activism, or do you find perhaps that it is more effective to keep them slightly separate?
Florence, you want to respond or you want me to comment?
As you want, you can begin. If
Okay, you can go ahead. Maybe I can add up later.
Okay, sorry, my connection was not so good, so I hope I got the whole question. But yeah, well, as I was saying, and you were saying,
Oh, we have also lost Florence is frozen.
Yes.
Okay. While Florence reconnects, I will take up from here. For us at AEFJN, environmental issues or rights and human rights are both sides of the same coin. You cannot take one and leave the other, because the human person, in our understanding, is part of the ecosystem. The human being is not apart from the ecosystem. So if you destroy the ecosystem, you are also destroying the human person. So for us, it's both sides of the same coin. We don't treat them, as separate entities.
Yeah.
Rather, we treat them as sides of the same coin. Florence, you can continue from where you stopped.
Sorry, apparently everyone has connection problem, even your was really sorry. And I was saying, yeah, so we will analyze as well the impact of the action of those private actors on the right to a healthy environment, the right to a decent work, the right to civil and political rights, the right to women's rights. So we will analyze it with all those rights. So I think it's really important to see the interconnection of all human rights, even though we will have some kind of we'll look more on the impact on the right to food, and that's why we will support struggle on access to natural resources. But I don't know if I answer your question, but
Yeah, thank you. I was just raising it because, as you know, you will be very well aware, many of our governments in Africa and in the South, they adopt the line that they must be allowed to pursue economic development, industrialization, more or less free of restrictions, because it is Africa's time to grow and to become wealthy and develop jobs and so on and so on. And environmental questions must wait, or must be put at the back. We must be able to burn coal in our power stations and so on. And there is this dichotomy at work there, that as if environmental concerns were not as important as economic development. So I just wanted to raise that aspect.
Yes, it is important that you raise that. I am a Nigerian, and I lived for 8 years in the creeks of the Niger Delta of Nigeria. I smelled oil pollution. I lived among people who are surrounded by water but have no access to water. I lived among people who have land, but they cannot plant on their land. And so when they're talking about the development, well, what is this about? Is it about people, or is it about somebody else? So these are the things that when the African national governments talk, I don't understand where, what they are talking about. Is it the development for the few political elites who control the resources of the country along with the transnational corporations, or is it about the people? These are the issues that we need to put forward before them. For those who live in the creeks of the Niger Delta area, and for people like me who live there, I wish that Nigeria never had oil. I wish that Nigeria never had oil at all. It is a curse. But even at that, some people, a few people are benefiting when the rest of the people are dying, are suffering. So how do we put that? So when our national government are talking what they are talking about, we should be able to put some concrete examples before them so as to add on the issues. Thank you. I think we are almost at the end of the time, except if there's an urgent, important question that cannot be left.
No, I don't
If
think.
not,
Oh, hang on. Yes, we have a question from Ethiopia. Hold on.
As part of in your introduction, you mentioned that the role of churches or the values of churches to address such issues. Why only churches? There are other religious institutions. So I think rather than only focusing on churches, what if focusing on coordinating different religious institutions, including the indigenous religious institutions in Africa? From this background, the Religious Council of Ethiopia who have really rich experience coordinating different religious institutions, including churches, especially the dominant religious institutions in Ethiopia, coordinating on peace building, conflict resolution, and so forth. So if we bring on board such like institutions to address such problem, really it is a good platform to address, because we do have the accessibility of coordinating Muslim religious followers, Orthodox, Catholic, Adventist, and so on, especially the dominant religious institutions in Ethiopia. So why only churches? That my suggestion in the comment, if you consider as the point.
Please, I didn't get the question. Can somebody summarize it?
Yeah, it's a simple point. Johannes is working for the Interreligious Council in Ethiopia, and he makes the point that it should not, the focus should not only be on churches. There is an equal need to involve other faiths, other religions, including the traditional religions and faiths in Africa, and to work on an interreligious basis in these efforts. I'm sure you will agree.
Yes. In fact, in the case of Ghana, I simply singled out the Catholic Church, but it is actually interfaith group, including the Muslims. So it's not limited to a particular church. That's why we talk about faith actors. But because I'm a Christian, I'm always talking about church, but actually we are talking about faith actors, both traditional religionists and all the rest of them.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, Chika, thank you. I think it's 3 p.m. now. That is our finishing time. And let me thank you and Wisdom and Florence. I think Michael has left for another meeting at this stage, but we're very, very grateful for your inputs and yesterday as well for sharing with us so much information. We're looking forward to receiving the PowerPoint presentations from yesterday, which we will distribute to all of the delegates. And we hope to keep in touch, whether through, I suppose, our Land Our Life platform mostly. And we will follow up, as promised yesterday, with a particular engagement between our Land Our Life and the CPLO network as soon as possible.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.